Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Streambeats video. So in today's video, what I wanted to do was help you guys out with becoming a competitive player in Monster Legends. So let's say you want to advance and take the next step. In the beginning, maybe you were just playing the game for fun, or you were playing for fun but also taking it a bit serious, but now you want to actually advance and actually become a competitive player and compete against others and basically know all the good stuff. Then this video is for you. Okay, so I wanted to make this video to help you guys out. So if this does end up helping you guys out, please drop a like and also subscribe with notifications on. We're getting closer and closer to 82,000 subscribers, so help me out. But anyways, enjoy the video. So I have about 10 or more tips for you guys that will actually help you out. I'm gonna go ahead and share it throughout this video. So the first one is logging in at least 3 to 4 times a day. Make sure you actually do that. Make sure to set up a time. If you don't have enough time, try doing this. Try logging in at least 2 or 3 times instead of 3 to 4 times. I normally log in about 3 to 4 unless I'm super busy, and then I just do 2 to 3 times when there aren't too many events going on, right? But when there are lots of events going on, you want to log in at least 3 to 4 times max, or probably more than that, especially when there are maze islands and stuff like that. You need to log in every 4 hours. So even though when there aren't maze islands going on or anything like that, what I recommend doing is just setting up timers or something that reminds you to log in every 4 hours. So if you could do that, help yourself out. That'll just remind you to log into the game. For example, collect your resources, collect your whatever you need to do. Also, if there's some type of event going on, like choose your path right now that is going on, Grand Prix, that's a bit different. You can log in anytime you want, but for maze islands and other types of events, you need to log in at least 3 or 4 times a day. That's what I do. And as you guys could see, that I have a bunch of these guys, all these monsters, and I'm sort of like a competitive player. I'm not at the top list right now, but I'm somewhere there now. So this next tip I'm about to share, this actually applies to the next step as well. So 2 tips together. One of them is understanding the meta, the other one is knowing what you're doing. So knowing what you're doing, I'm talking about battles, knowing like strategies and stuff like that. You need to start learning those. If you don't know how to do it, then I recommend watching videos on YouTube or asking pro players, maybe on some type of social. There's Discord, there's Facebook. Just make sure they know what they're doing and you can actually trust them. So whenever I actually let's say do a review on a specific monster, I go ahead and give my opinion and I run it with like the best team possible, and also give you guys some pros and cons here and there that will actually help you out. Also some battle strategies, like I've actually made a video on the level 4 Mega Taunt, how to actually do that with Elvira, although that's kind of dead now since there's Super Fox, so not too many players actually run that. But also talking about Super Fox, you know how I made that video on like the Super Fox with 2 Mega Taunt monsters? I still use that strategy, and I could actually get myself up to Legendary 1 if I wanted to right now. I just don't have the time. I haven't actually participated or just done too many attacks. I haven't been as active on this tournament just yet, but I still collect my tier X, unlock them, and do some stuff here and there. So let me show you my attack. Right, this was 16 hours ago, and take a look at them. Look at the time difference between these attacks. So 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. So it's almost like I do 3 to 4 battles only every day, every other day. You know what I mean? Like, for example, this was 3 days ago, and then there's 2 days. So every day I only do about 2 to 3 battles. But if you want to actually advance to higher leagues, once again, you need to understand the meta, and also you need to know what you're doing. So understanding the meta, another thing you can actually do is knowing getting to know some of these monsters, like for example getting to know their roles. So this is a tank right here, right? You need to pair up with like a tank with an attacker and a denier. You need to know what those things are, like what are deniers, what are attackers, what are controllers, stuff like that. So you need to know those things first in order to proceed and actually become a competitive player. So it is a little bit difficult in the beginning, but once you get used to it, it should be pretty easy. So the next step I want to share is practicing battles. Now you can do friendly battles if you want. You can go ahead and help yourself out. Friendly battles are super easy. It's free too. You can literally just join a team and send the friendly battle, or you don't even have to join a team. You can just go on and add someone from either global or for example just having a friend in general and send them a request or something, and just practice strategies here and there and just know the basics and stuff, right? And once you get to know the basics, once again, knowing the strategies is very, very helpful, like knowing the meta. So you can do, for example, classic duels. Classic duels, you can actually do these for free. So basically what you need to do is head over to your goals and then head over to daily missions. They give you these tickets for free. You get about, how much? 4. You get about 4 tickets per day. You can go ahead and spend those tickets in the classic duels and basically continue practicing every day using these legendary monsters. And they actually they could still be used kind of like mythics. So for example, if you could learn what each one of these monsters do, for example, it literally tells you right there, copycat is a tundra control monster with support and random control skills. And then we have a monster that is also a controller on the left. And then finally I have my attacker, which is Flammarion. So make sure to know what each monster does, and also once again practice classic duels first and then move on to bigger stuff like grand duels and finally grandmasters. So make sure you know what you're doing first. So start with classics first because classics are free, and then once you actually get used to classics and if you know that you've improved, then you can go ahead and move on to grand duels or grandmaster duels. So this next step is participating in events, as many events as possible. Okay, so right now there's a marathon going on. Marathons are a bit difficult because you need to be very active. It really depends in what type of team you are in and how active they want you to be. But if you're just a starter and you're becoming a competitive player, then it shouldn't be that difficult. But yeah, you'll have like lots of fun and stuff, but then it'll get tiring. It really depends on your team once again. But this is just a marathon. You know, there are maze islands, there are events like Tails Challenge and win 72-hour challenges. If let's say they come back, those also you need to participate in those, and you just need to be very active and participate in those. Try to get as many mythics and cosmics as possible. Those are what you really need. Cosmics, you need cosmics. Okay, try to get as many as possible because they are the current meta. And that relates to this next tip that I was going to give you guys, which is get the top tier monsters. Stop worrying about regular cosmics. For example, like this guy right here. This guy, you don't want to get this guy. You don't want to get, for example, let me see, this guy. You don't want him. You don't need, just the bottom tier monsters. You need to stop doing those and start focusing on top tier monsters. And by that I mean getting the monsters that are used by literally almost every player. So you can, for example, head over to rankings, right, on PvP, head over to global and see what these players are using. For example, this player is using Vanoss. Vanoss is meta. He's also running Cryler and also Bombita. And look, Vampira Stroll on this base, Shelly, and then finally, Hardy. So Hardy, all those monsters right there that you see are meta. And see, this player is also using Vanoss. So you can literally just tell which monsters are actually meta and which ones aren't. So you can just check out every player's base, see what they're running, and if you see that same exact monster multiple times, for example, we've seen Shelly 3 times so far from the first top 3 players, meaning that Shelly is very, very useful. And you don't actually get those monsters very often. They actually come around sometimes, especially like on Black Friday events, or there was one the most recent one was during Christmas. They were just putting it on sale for gems, and of course also you could purchase it with money, but the free-to-play way was to just purchase it with gems. Okay, this next tip I'm about to give you guys is knowing how to rune your monsters and also equipping the correct relics. So I've actually seen lots of players. I'm gonna see if I could find someone on global. Let's just go, for example, with this 41 player that is just a starter, sort of like a starter, not really, but level 41. He's somewhere there. But let's just go ahead and check out his monsters. Let's see how they runed them. Okay, this person right here, just a random player from global. We're gonna see, for example, Firestar. That's incorrect. The runes, this monster is a support, you're supposed to give either team speed or maybe even speed if you want to, but team speed should be right. Let's see Chimney. Chimney, that's incorrect. You don't want to give team strength or team stamina. Let's take a look at it. Leaderless. 2 life and 1 team speed, that is incorrect. The team speed could be fine, yeah, whatever, but the life, you need to get rid of that, okay? But you just need to know how to actually correctly ruin the monsters. I recommend watching videos like review videos on a specific monster. Make sure you trust those videos, whoever makes the videos. Make sure you know them well. And I do so many reviews. Literally every single monster that gets added in the game, I always review them and I always give the best runes possible. Same with relics and also skills. So make sure to know how to ruin them, and also know which monster skills are correct. You can't be just running, for example, let's say the Steam Wrath right here, right? Let's say you're not running these skills that I'm running and you're just running these other ones right here. That's incorrect. Try to run the correct skills because you're gonna get the best out of it. This next one is basically just taking advantage of the happy hours and just the gems in general in Monsterwood. Even if there aren't any happy hours, right now there is a happy hour for surveys, but even if there aren't, it's okay, that's fine. Continue, you know, grinding gems. But me, normally I actually just wait for happy hours, and when there's a happy hour on, for example, completing tasks, I go ahead and do it and get myself like my gems and stuff. But for example, these survey gems, right? You can go ahead and do it, get your gems, and also the tasks. These tasks, some of them are easy, some of them are pretty difficult. So when you actually complete them and given some time, complete them, and you did it correctly, then you should be able to get your gems. But if you did it incorrectly, then you won't be able to get your gems. Or let's say you're late at it too, because there's actually a time limit. For example, let me see if this one has it. I don't know. Some of them are like you need to finish it in like 30 days, less than 30 days, or some of them are like in 10 days or something. One of the tasks I did, which was for Raid Shadow Legends, it was actually less than 10 days, so I had to do it less than 10 days or else it'll just be expired, and even if you complete it after 10 days or whatever, it won't be counted. So you need to finish it as soon as possible. But yeah, just make sure to take advantage of the free gems, and that's how I actually grinded my gems. Look, 9,800 gems. I get it all from Monsterwood and also other types of events, but mainly Monsterwood. Okay, so this next tip is about your team. Okay, so whatever team you're in right now, if you want to take the next step, let's say they're not super active and you want to take the next step to join a better team that's active and they're going for a higher lap or stuff like that, then go ahead and do it. Okay, so let's say you're a starter right now, right, and you have a team that's kind of inactive. Here's how you know that they're actually inactive or not. For example, our team, when you press on those 3 little fire icons, it tells you that they're very active. So my team, it's very active. So you can also check like the description. For example, 6 out of 6 attacks required. Don't need tells, you don't have to worry about that part. That's just a type of rule. For example, 40 laps, we're like a 40 lap team. Sometimes we go for 20 depending on the race monster. Like if it's a bad race monster, we just go for 20, but if it is good, we just go for 40. So anything I'd say but higher than either 20 or 40, I'd consider that like a competitive team. And lastly, you can go ahead and check out their war log and race log. Okay, so there's war log and then there's race log. You need to check those too. Okay, and I'd say that's pretty much it, right, for the team. Maybe there are a couple more things, but yeah, make sure to join a very active team. Make sure they're active and you can trust them. Okay, make sure to trust them. You can also check their team league, okay, where they are. Currently we're in champion 1, but I'd say anything but in, for example, gold 1 to anywhere up there is competitive. Okay, gold itself is mediocre, I'd say. But I'd say maybe gold 1 to legendary leader is competitive. But we just bounced off from legendary to champion, and then from champion we just go back to legendary. It's just a thing that happened. And last tip I could give you is learning pro strats. Okay, you need to learn pro strategies. So that means that you need to just For example, understanding the meta, which I already spoke about. I covered that part, I know, but this actually applies to that. So you just need to know the strats. For example, this monster has Pierce. Well, pair it up with maybe 2 Megatons or something, right? Like I have it right now. You can also do like skill mirror monsters. There are so many strategies. Some of them are now sort of dead because of the new monsters coming out here and there. It's either they get buffed or they die. So you just need to learn those strategies, okay? You need to learn those pro strategies, and once you learn them, you'll basically become a very competitive player. But anyways, guys, that's going to be pretty much it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I hope this video helped you guys out. Share this with a friend or so, someone that starts playing Monster Legend. Let's say they want to become a competitive player and they're sort of like a starter, or maybe they're just in their mid-game. Go ahead and share this with them, help them out, okay? But anyways, thank you all so much for watching today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.